Hi everybody, welcome back to Critical Mass. Well, today we're going to talk about some classic Christmas TV specials. And one of the big things is, this year there's a big change to one of these classics, that you can't watch it anymore on TV. Maybe. What? So we'll talk about that, and we'll review them when we come up right after this. So the two we are going to talk about are probably, besides maybe The Grinch Who Stole Christmas, the two most popular out there. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, which is the claymation kind of puppetry story of Rudolph. And then we have a Charlie Brown's Christmas, long-time classic Christmas. I don't remember how young I was when I watched that, but...
Except I would argue that Frosty the Snowman's probably more popular than, say, the Charlie Brown Christmas.
I was not a big fan of Frosty the Snowman as a kid.
No, but whether you're a fan of it, they play at the exact same time as Rudolph. Right? So they play them back to back every year.
I think the Frosty the Snowman, if you're thinking about the same cartoon I am,
yeah.
I think it ages better for modern children.
I think Rudolph stands out amongst them all. But let's get into the first one. Let's go with, all right, start off with Rudolph. I got my shirt. I got the right shirt.
Yes, you do.
Huh?
I think he has the right shirt.
Well, this could be Donner.
No,
it has a red nose.
Oh, yeah, but he had a cold. Okay, Rudolph the Red-Nosed...
Cupid?
Hey, maybe.
No.
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, 1964, is it? Yeah. We looked at the cast of characters who did the voice actors. There's nobody famous.
No
that we would know.
standouts.
Yeah.
Back in those days, they didn't hire famous actors like they do these days to voice cartoon characters.
Yeah.
They became famous for being cartoon voices in the past.
However, isn't Burl Ives pretty famous?
And if you remember the beginning, it says right on the beginning and there, narrated by Burl Ives,
Yeah,
and songs sung by Burl Ives, because that was the big name back then. And he plays the snowman, who's basically the narrator of the story.
Yeah, but that's the only name that you're going to recognize from this cast.
But even, like, as far as Burl Ives' music is concerned, I didn't really grow up with that or anything, but I recognize Burl Ives singing only because of this, every time I hear a song.
Do we want to break down the story of Rudolph, in case people haven't seen it?
Go for it, yep.
Okay, so Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer had a very shiny nose.
Don't just quote the song.
Oh, okay. So Rudolph...
Which you might even say it glows.
Yeah, some might.
Mark.
Some might. You know, they used to pick on him a lot and let him play the games. Anyway, so Rudolph was a sickly reindeer.
No,
right?
he just had a red nose.
He had that nose problem that he talked like this.
Only because they put the
Oh,
thing.
I guess they put the cup on him. Yeah.
Mark's really good at describing this video, so let's start this again.
You didn't watch it, did you?
No, I did.
You've seen it before, but you didn't watch it.
No, I watched it. All right, let's start again.
Cut. Mark, would you like to?
Paul's the sort of summary guy.
Santa has to have a fleet of reindeer to pull his sleigh, and once the new crop of reindeer are born, they go through all these reindeer games to make sure the best are chosen to lead the sleigh. And Donner, one of the sleigh reindeer,
He's the lead reindeer.
has a child, a little boy, and they come to discover that his nose glows.
It's kind of like Hunger Games in that they compete for dominance.
Oh yeah, if they showed the reindeer games, it's like American Ninja.
Right.
And they find out that his nose glows, and that is just unacceptable. He's a weirdo, an outcast. All the reindeer make fun of him. Even his dad puts a little cup on his nose and says, try to be normal. You're not normal, and I don't like that, but try to be normal. And outside in the workshop, Santa's workshop, there's an elf. He's also a misfit because he doesn't like making toys. He wants to be a dentist. And they decide to run away with each other, and they end up in the land of Misfit Toys.
Misfit Toys, yeah.
Okay? And hijinks ensue.
Right.
Hijinks ensue. There's the abominable snowman. Now, as I'm watching this again, I remember being scared of some of the scenes with the abominable snowman as a kid. Like if you remember, like if you think of the way they did the puppetry and everything, you hear the song, the growl in the distance, but all of a sudden you'd see the Bumble and he looks kind of silly and everything, but then they do a quick close up of the face and the sharp teeth, like suddenly like this. It's almost like a jump scare for kids, right? And I remember being scared of that.
Yeah, times have changed.
At a Christmas. Yeah. But yeah, you think of the times, but I still think this is one of a lot of people, the cancel culture out there has gone in saying, you know, Rudolph doesn't fit in, so we shouldn't show this show because everybody should fit in. And I looked at it completely the opposite, because they show somebody who has something, who stands up for themselves and does what they want to do and convinces everybody they're just as valuable as everybody else.
If not more so.
Yeah. Like there's a struggle there. Not everybody is equal in life. Not everybody has the same exact way of thinking, exact look, exact personality, and you're going to have different things. And they show that you don't have to just give in. And that's the story and the moral of this story. Rudolph becomes Rudolph. He doesn't just he's not just given the lead sleigh because he's special.
Participation
He
award.
wins, right? He proves his value to everybody, and everybody changes their mind and realizes it. It's not like there's still some kids over here going, he just got that because he has a red nose. No, I think it was a good story.
And
Myself.
this after-school special brought to you
Yeah.
by Critical Mass.
Yeah.
What I remembered before we watched it again, what I remembered was the claymation. And
The stop-motion stuff.
yeah, when I was a kid, this was perfectly acceptable. It set things apart from the other cartoons, okay, and made its distinct mark on my brain. I did find it a little bit difficult to watch this time because it was very primitive claymation. But other things stuck in my head, like, whoa, blast from the past. Like the voice of the Jack in the Box.
Yep.
You know, just well, it's such a small part, and I saw this maybe like 40 years ago, and whoa, that voice is in my brain.
Who goes there? Oh, well, then that's okay.
And you didn't know that it was in your brain.
Yeah.
No, it's just there's a lot of elements in this show that just like nostalgia that I didn't even know I had.
Yeah.
And one of those, this guy right here. Everybody knows this. Whether you've seen it or not, you know this guy.
Yep.
Right? You don't know his name. Mark doesn't know his name.
Well, he's the Keebler elf.
But you know, he wants to be a dentist, and it just all comes back to you when you're watching this.
Yeah.
Yep. And always remember, when you're watching this, don't get scared because Bumbles bounce. That's all you have to remember.
There you go.
Okay.
I thought that was hilarious. Like, I didn't remember that part from when I was a kid, but Cornelius, the prospector, he was
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, every time he's throwing his pick up in the air looking for silver and gold. And by the way, that's the only song that really stands up in those songs when the elves are singing and everything. I didn't like them anymore.
Right.
But that one still kind of stands up. Burl Ives' songs still stand
I
out.
could hear that on the radio, and I would sing along with it.
Yeah, yeah. So I like when he throws the pick up every time he's looking for silver or gold and he tastes it. Nothing. And then at the end, he throws it up after the credits are rolling and it's peppermint. I've been looking for peppermint all my life.
Like throwing a pickaxe up in
Yeah.
the air and tasting it. What's that going to tell you?
Yeah, yeah. And his dog sled. Every random type of dog there is.
Poodles, cocker spaniels,
Yeah.
and then he ends up pulling it.
He ends up pulling it to run away from the Bumble. So, would you say it's worth people should still let their kids watch it? Should you watch it?
Absolutely.
You know
I
what?
think so.
It's okay for kids to watch. I think adults should revisit it just for some nostalgia. I don't know if kids would like it these days.
For the puppetry, I think puppetry gets it by nowadays. I think-
It is one of those shows, whether your kids like it or not, you have to force them to sit there and
Yeah,
watch it.
yeah.
Maybe 4-year-olds or 5-year-olds,
Yeah.
but I don't think a 10-year-old would like this very much.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, we'll see. Well, speaking of classics, on to the next one, a Charlie Brown's Christmas. Now, if somebody was to ask me in the middle of the summer, name me 3 things from a Charlie Brown Christmas that stand out. I remember that Charlie Brown is trying to get everyone's attention and they just keep dancing. Their own song, their own dance at the play. I remember the loo 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 at the end that everyone's singing. And I remember that darn little tree.
Charlie Brown's Christmas Tree. That's
That's what you
Yeah,
remember.
but all the stuff with Snoopy and the Red Baron and all that.
Red Baron.
Oh, I'm thinking of the other Christmas one that they have. Sorry, the New Year's one. He goes off as he's fighting the Red Baron and this thing. But he does when he's decorating his tree and
Love
all
that
that.
song.
I don't remember all that. That doesn't stay in my memory. But that Linus speech there.
Okay, so 1965. This came out a year after Rudolph,
Yep.
and Charlie Brown's depressed. He's going through. He's saying,
It's like really depressed.
I
Yeah.
don't feel happy. Everybody else is happy at the commercialism of Christmas, and it just doesn't mean anything to me. And he goes through. He becomes director of a play. He finds some value because I don't know. He gets to.
It's like a purpose.
It's
He's
his-
trying to do a commercial-free play.
It's his search to find the meaning of Christmas.
Yeah.
It doesn't work out for him. And then at the end, he goes and he gets this Christmas tree. He picks a real one that is a little bit underwhelming.
I mean, to
Yeah.
this day, whenever you see an underwhelming Christmas tree, it's a Charlie Brown Christmas tree.
Well, it's also, if you remember, every single person in, like, all the kids were saying, get yourself an aluminum one, maybe a big pink aluminum one, a shiny new aluminum one. They really forced that out over and over again. And then he goes and he picks this little tree and he brings it back, and everybody calls him a blockhead, which is what you called people back in the 80s.
In the 80s.
Well,
In 1965.
when I started watching it, from what I remember. But I mean, yeah, blockhead. That was the big insult, I guess, back
Right.
then.
Well,
At the end, they all, I don't know, see value. They try to bring up his spirits by decorating his tree and accepting it for what it is, and then they all do the Lulu song, and that's it.
After Linus's speech.
Now, do you think the cartoon holds up?
I'm gonna be honest. This is so the whole Peanuts animation stuff. I find there's a lot of awkward pauses between their dialogue, and I find that difficult to watch.
It's very slow.
Right? And but I think that also lends to the charm of what made the Peanuts the Peanuts. I think that if they reshot, these Peanut classics and didn't leave those awkward pauses, I don't think they would be nearly as popular. Does it hold up? It's one of those movies that in the middle of summer I forget exists.
But at Christmas time.
It snows. It's immediately one of those movies on the top of your list. So I think today it does hold up. I think my kids would sit and watch it.
Yeah, and there are some funny moments even today, like when Lucy is talking to Schroeder on the piano, and he said, "Do you know Jingle Bells?" And he, dum 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 dum. No, Jingle Bells. Jingle bells, fa la la. And he plays a different Jingle Bell song, and she goes, "No, Jingle Bells." And he goes, "Ding ding ding, ding ding ding, ding ding." She goes, "That's it." Like that's funny because he's playing Jingle Bells, only classic Jingle Bells. I thought that was humorous. So.
I don't know.
I still get a lot. I like Peanuts. They did a Peanuts movie. It did very well, actually, in theaters. So I'm wondering if they would ever reanimate some of these classics with more modern art.
I think this was a cartoon for its time. Like even at Christmas, I don't think about this one. I know Charlie Brown's Christmas Tree. That's legendary, and I know it comes from this cartoon. But the cartoon is too simple. I understand it has a message of I don't know, being real at Christmas time, and forget the commercialism. But I don't know, 25 minutes. I don't think it's a must see. Like The Great Pumpkin. That one is burned into my brain more than this one.
See, I think one of the problems is nowadays is like I just mentioned 3. We have and you mentioned Frosty as well. So 4 classic Christmas cartoons, but they're all from way in the past. I don't know of any modern Christmas that I would say is a classic.
No, they keep regurgitating some of the classics like The Grinch and whatnot, but I don't see new ones coming out that are instant classics like these.
No, I see them try, but they always try like an Animaniacs Christmas or something like that. But it doesn't stick. It doesn't last. It's just not as iconic, I guess. Maybe it's because we only had that choice for like 10 years, so it's now burned into our brains and we love it because of that. But it's like fruitcake and eggnog, we only have it at Christmas. These specials, we usually only watch at Christmas too, and I will continue to watch them even as a 58-year-old adult. living by himself.
You probably watch this 4 or 5, 6 times a year.
6, 7 times a year. No, but only at Christmas. But there you go. Let us know what you guys think. Do you guys watch these classics over and over again? Do you think it's good enough for kids these days? And tell us if you've seen a cartoon out there that you think should be a classic, more of a modern cartoon. Because honestly, I look and I haven't seen anything myself. Well, I hope you enjoyed this little write-up on some nostalgic Christmas TV specials. I never told us what happened, did I, about Peanuts?
No.
I hope you stayed till the end. Maybe we'll insert this earlier. So, Peanuts has been on TV now since it was created. But the license was just recently acquired by Apple. And Apple decided, we are only going to have it on our service from now on, and you're going to have to pay for it. And people went nuts. Apple got write-up after write-up after write-up and call in. And so they finally said, well, you know what? We're going to put it for free for this amount of time, and then you can purchase it. And that goes for Charlie Brown Christmas, too. They bought the rights to the Charlie Brown series.
I mean, how dare they try to commercialize Christmas?
Right? Yeah, that's exactly the opposite story, right? But they also then agreed, because people were saying, hey, we don't all have access to your service, right? We like to be able to see it on TV with our antennas and stuff like that. Some of us live in the country still. And so they agreed to put it on PBS in the United States, and we do get that here in Canada. So at least it can be still available for people to see on TV. But there you go. Commercialism strikes even a non-commercialism story.
From 1965.
Exactly. How sad have we become? Well, let us know what you guys think about it once again. And until next time, maybe check out some more of our other videos here and some more of our Christmas specials coming up. And until next time, we'll see you on the channel.